So, over the years, as I was helping people rebuild life after loss, people who were not widows and widowers were also reaching out to me. And they were saying, I've gone through this incredible divorce and I'm grieving the relationship I thought I should have had.
This episode is brought to you by Make More Creative. For the last couple of decades, Make More Creative has been helping entrepreneurs, artists, and businesses around the world find, shape, and share their stories so everyone gets it. From brand development and deployment to graphic design, motion graphics, artistic direction, mentoring, and all things creative, visit makemorecreative.com to see how they can help you share your story. In this episode, you'll meet relationship coach Michelle Hoffmann. She opens up about her journey through love and loss and how she guides others to find meaningful connections. From inspiring stories to practical relationship advice to all things in between, please welcome Michelle Hoffmann to the Rebel Rebel. Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and all the way across the world, several times, Michelle Hoffmann. Hey, how's it going, Michelle?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Michael.
And for the audience, where are you located in this big old world?
I'm in the Carolinas.
The Carolinas.
In the Carolinas.
South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been, and I it's on my list. I want to see all the states, actually, because they're all so different and unique.
Yes. Yeah. Carolinas have all kinds of personality.
I bet. So let's start here. What does Michelle Hoffmann do? And let's get that out of the way and figure out, okay, what is Michelle Hoffmann about?
I get to have the most fun of anyone.
Okay.
Realize, there are several big life events in your life, and I get invited to one of the biggest, funnest one every time someone has one.
What? What is it?
What? Whenever somebody has an amazing life event, they call me.
Really?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I am very likely the person who helped them figure out what love is and invite that into their lives.
What?
So I get to go to a lot of weddings and celebrate a lot of happy couples in love.
Way.
I know. It's a super great life.
Okay. So, and your tagline here is the art of relationshiping, which I think is outstanding. And there's a lot to unpack there, but so you're basically a relationship coach. You help people figure out how to connect with other people.
That is exactly it. And I help on the professional side as well as the personal side.
Oh, sure.
So up until the past decade or so, it was more informal that people were coming to me to figure out their love lives because it was previously people were coming to me to figure out how to build successful teams, creating valuable results.
Ah, gotcha.
And life has taken a couple of twisty turns for me, and we shifted to more of the personal side. However, that does not stop people from asking me to come in and spark talent to ignite winning teams, creating that valuable result so that the mission and vision of the organization is in alignment with every single person who walks in, achieving their own goals, achieving the team's goals, and achieving the success of the company. So that's what I was doing professionally, anecdotally.
Got it.
Whether I was a portfolio manager working in medical publishing or as a social scientist at Stanford University. And then, I know. But it was
Did you see that head thing? I was like, what?
And it was, but interesting how things turned for me. And then people started to come to me for personal reasons.
Got it. Well, okay. So, because I'm an astute listener, I've heard mention that there's stuff that has happened. So let's go back in time and go into the Wayback Machine, back in time. And I'd like to learn how Michelle got here. Like what happened to take Michelle right when everybody else went left?
Yeah. All right. If we're going to go in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, we can go back as far as you want. You could be like,
Well, when I was a kid, maybe
yeah,
your family did this too. Did you put birthday candles on the birthday cake and you'd close your eyes? They'd sing happy birthday, you'd make a wish, blow out the candles, and you hope your wish would come true. And I
yeah.
had the same wish every single year. And some people wanted a pony, some people want to be Secret Service. I've asked people, some people want all the chocolate in the world, a unicorn, a race car,
Yeah.
a horse. Um, I always wanted to be in a healthy partnership. And I know, even as a little kid, I had good role models.
Oh, that's
And I
nice.
just envisioned myself, not necessarily with the, 2.5 children and the white picket fence, but my own version of that.
Right.
And as the years went on, I'm an astute observer, like to a cellular level. And I would watch how people would get together
Yeah.
and I would guess, why will this work or why won't it work?
Really?
And I got a little envious because there were all these couples getting together throughout my life.
Uh-huh.
And I'd ask my friends' parents, how did you meet one another? Because I wasn't meeting my person. And
Oh,
I'm like, am I too fat? Am I too young? Am I too old? Am I not rich enough? Am I not smart enough? Am I not on the social hierarchy enough,
yeah.
high up enough? And I'm like, what is it that I am not enough of so that I can attract my person and live my happy life? And the years went on and I wasn't finding my person.
I find this fascinating that you're that cognizant of this.
Well, thank you. What I was doing was putting together a process that does work
Right.
for people every time.
Cool.
However, I didn't know that that's really what I was doing. I was just seeing what worked and what didn't work and why wasn't it working for me. Well, I did eventually meet him at the wrong dinner table, at the wrong dinner seating, at the wrong everything. And by the end of the meal, he knew I was the one for him. So he figured it out first.
Wow.
And later that night on the dance floor, he was brave enough to kiss me. And I did what every man dreams of when he kisses a woman.
What?
I laughed.
Oh, no.
I know this is not what people hope for.
Oh, no.
But he was brazen enough to ask, what's so funny? And
Yeah.
I just said, my life was going down the track this way, and now it's going toward you. And that's what every man dreams of when he kisses a woman.
Wow.
And that was it. The rest was really just logistics and getting to know one another and shared experiences and reconfirming that all of those processes that I'd put in place actually click, click, click and fit. And the
Crazy.
rest was fun. We had the funnest relationship and it was easy. This
Oh,
partnership was easy. We maintained our individuality and identity, and together we created this universe of this relationship with, intimate knowledge and inside jokes and eventually we built a home together in this little relationship universe that we had created, and
wow.
we built a family together and we built a life together, and it was pretty perfect.
Okay, so listeners might be noticing some choice use of words, which is
Um,
had,
yeah,
was, did. So what happened?
you're a good listener. It was pretty perfect until he died.
Oh my God.
And that left me head of household, sole parent, and you guessed it, single.
Yeah.
And I was just devastated. Landscape scorched. There was no guide for this.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
I called on all of my professional and personal life experience. And in my head, I started to project manage and I started to, again, put together a process and what needs to happen first for me to get out of this bed and stop just soaking my pillow in tears in a fetal position,
Oh my God.
because that's not how I wanted to spend the rest of my precious life. The two of us had made commitments to the children,
Sure.
to, you know, to each other. And I really did want to uphold those. So once I got my energy together and figured it out, and then I figured it out for my kids, I saw that a friend of mine was going through a very similar experience, and I helped her figure it out for her and her children as a widow. And then my community started to comment, "You're very good at this. Can you go help them? Help them, help them, help them." And I'm like, I need like 2 jobs right now. And before I got those jobs, in my heart, I knew I needed to write the guide that I did not have.
Right.
So I sat down and I wrote it. So, Life Worth Living, a practical and compassionate guide to navigating widowhood and soul parenting.
Oh.
And it was interesting. I was having breakfast with Guy Kawasaki, the branding guru of the world.
What?
Yeah, his wife and I are friends.
Come on, I love Guy Kawasaki.
Yeah, he's awesome. I didn't really, I wasn't making the connection. It's not how I choose my friends.
Yeah.
The kids would play together. We would do stuff together.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You need to talk to Guy." And so we're sitting at the breakfast table, and Guy Kawasaki pointed his finger at me. I had told him the story I told you.
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's your book. Write the book." When Guy Kawasaki tells you to write the book, you write the book.
Yeah, write the book.
So I did.
So you
It
wrote the
became an international bestseller. I did not anticipate that. But people from all over the world were reaching out to me saying, "Can you help me through this?"
Wow.
Well, yes, I can, but I need to, I need to go get a job. I'm raising these kids on my own, and, and there's no partner coming in to help co-parent or bring home the, another salary and this and that. And so they were like, "But this is your job, we'll pay you." I'm like, "No." And eventually I realized that this is actually a value that I am contributing, because I thought everyone could figure this out on their own. And if you can't figure it out on your own and you keep running into the same challenges, it's a clear signal to reach out to someone like me to get that guidance and help. So over the years, as I was helping people rebuild life after loss, people who were not widows and widowers were also reaching out to me. And they were saying, I've gone through this incredible divorce, and I'm grieving the relationship I thought I should have had. That feels a lot like the grief of loss. Do you think you could help me through this?
What?
And I'm like, "Yeah, I understand. Yes, of course I'll help you." So we've all had these losses in our lives. So what I learned was, as I was helping people, I started to record what they needed to hear most, what they needed to learn the most, and I built that process and shared it with people like what I had done for myself. And so I've developed a program, an online program, so that I wasn't repeating myself every time we chatted. Yeah. And really, it gave us time to ensure that they heard what they needed to hear. I had very simple exercises that have profound aha moments as a result. Mm-hmm. And then I could really dive in deep when we were one-on-one, and I knew they weren't missing anything. So this program became not only the Life Worth Living program, it mirrored what people needed to hear, whether they'd never had a relationship that was meaningful in the past, whether they were just getting on their feet and they really want to, live their best version of their life, or if they're ready to rebuild and invite in a partnership. So the title of it is Ready to Be Relationship Ready.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, so when does that come out?
That's already out.
Oh, great. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's already been honed and practiced and rehearsed, and years of developmental proof that people increase their confidence in the most important aspect of their lives on average 238% in just a few short weeks.
What?
Like, your life might have been going this way. You decide, I need some help. We work together for 8 weeks. That's an 8-week program. And bam, 238% increase in confidence in how you approach everything in your life.
How do you measure that? I have to
So
ask.
it's a qualitative experience.
Yeah, okay.
So what I do is at the beginning, we start to give a quantitative number to things.
Okay.
It's each person.
How are you feeling? I feel
Yeah.
50%,
Be
satisfied here.
50% confident that
Sure.
that your life is aligning with your goals and what you'd like to live
Yeah.
fully in your life. So on the day you die, you know you really lived.
Wow.
Are you confident that you've got, and I have something I call the, life in reverse, everything in place. And we go through all of that stuff so that the end of your life is taken care of. It's a gift to those you leave behind,
Like
creating a
pre-planning your
legacy
funeral and stuff like that.
to a certain degree.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a client that we do that work. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have the people in place? So I help people build an advisory board. Who do you have in your life who you truly need so you can stretch your strengths and strengthen your weaknesses for proper balance in your life? And if you've got a gap, we go find them. So you have who you need. You busy taking care of everyone and everything, who's taking care of you kind of
Right.
deal.
Right.
Health and, and fun and diversion. And then the module 5 was all about relationships. And everyone seemed to want to focus on relationshiping. So this is what happened. During COVID, we're locked down.
Yeah, we are.
And a bunch of friends and friends of friends would get together twice a week for this happy hour because that was one of the only ways that we could connect through a virtual happy hour.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had started dating.
Okay.
And I'm like, ugh, now, once again, it was all the insecurity of, am I enough? Am I this? Am I, am I, I'm not rich enough, fat, I'm thin enough, young enough. And now I've got 2 kids. I've got baggage enough. Yeah. Who's going to want me?
Yeah.
Kind of, I mean, those are the insecurities and the imposter syndrome everybody has.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we're on this happy hour call and I've started dating and people were saying, how are you dating so well during COVID? You can't actually meet people. And I'm like, this is better because I've learned to live within the constraints life has to offer. We can really get to know one another prior to meeting because, I mean, early on, if you meet someone, your life's at risk. It had to be the real deal. So nobody was even pushing that issue. We got to connect in a meaningful way. And they were like, well, how are you dating so well? Look who we're attracting. And I'm like, do not go out with that guy. He's going to chop you up before he's done with you. What does your profile say that this is who you're attracting? Would you like me to help you with that?
Oh, wow.
Those were the words that changed my life again. And I do what I say I'm going to do. My integrity is very high. Every single person on the call was like, yes, we want you to help us with that. And I'm like, oh no. That was a big offer.
Yeah.
And so that was a Friday afternoon. And I thought, I could help them. Just like with a resume, I can help hone your resume for you and help you find the right fit organization to apply to. But there's so much more that needs to happen. Right. So similar to a resume to find the right job or find the right fit there, to apply to the right job, I put together a process to ensure that the online profile that was presenting you was accurate and it was sending the message that you want to send to attract the right person to you. And so by Saturday afternoon, I had this whole coaching arc done of here's, 75% of what you're going to say is about you, 25 to 30% is going to send the message of who you want to invite in so people can self-select out.
Oh, yeah.
So don't waste your time with the wrong people. How do you take the pictures so that you're sending the right vibe and not sending people away, but also not sending people throw sex. And if that's not what you want, don't do it.
Yeah.
How to up-level the relationship, to send the communication, the values that you're looking for. So it's really 3 steps. Is Where are you on the lifeline of your relationship arc, and what do you want for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And the person you're looking at, or you being a curious detective finding out more about, are they at a similar intersection in life? Because if you find someone there, things line up and it's easy. People say, oh, relationships are work. They don't have to be. So that's the first step. Then knowing your value system, because you make all of your decisions based on your values, and your perfect partner doesn't have to have the same values, but they do need complementary values.
Right.
Otherwise, you're pushing against one another.
Yeah.
If one of you is pushing for economic security and the other one's living in the moment, that's where the work comes in.
Right.
So if you can have complementary value systems, and then the third level is faith, family, finance, fitness, the frequency. So the energy, are you a night owl? Are you a morning person? Are you, hiking the Alps, or are you, sunning yourself at the pool? So the frequency, culture, profession, those kinds of things. Oftentimes people will only look at that first. Hey,
Right.
he's hot.
Yeah.
Cute guy. That's all I need. And then we hope the rest lines up. So these were the things that I was looking at when growing up. And
Wow.
so those are like the 3 layers. And people were like, this is amazing. And they kept inviting more people into this little 1 week, program that I was offering for my friends.
Yeah.
And they were like, can we invite more people? I'm like, yeah, but I've got it. It's done. We're done. And they're like, no. And I'm like, doesn't everybody know all of this already? And they're like, no, we don't.
No, we just winging a prayer, really.
Right. So that was the pivotal moment. I guess there were a couple in there that shifted my life into being a relationship coach.
Crazy.
And so now I wrote Life Worth Living. It did well. All of the people who had reported to me through the years were like, congratulations on that incredible success of the book. But when are you going to write the book we've been asking you to write? I'm like, okay, it's COVID. I've got time. So new management blueprint, spark talent to ignite winning teams, creating valuable results. This is a love letter to the people who reported to me and really, now they can take this into their new organizations and use it to ensure that the success is happening in the organizations that they are, by the way, now leading.
Oh, okay. So all these books are going to be in the links. Buy them. I'm going to go buy a couple copies for people actually today.
Oh, awesome. Yep. Thank you.
That's so cool.
So then through the years, I'm like, people were coming to me and there was incredible success stories. I don't trust myself in intimate relationships. I don't know how to navigate obstacles in relationships. I don't know how to advocate for myself. Why do I keep running into the same kind of relationship?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like that at first, but people tend to go to what they're familiar with. And then they're like, oh, here I am again. So whether you've got an anxious attachment style or an avoidant or an anxious avoidant or a secure attachment style like myself,
Yeah.
just knowing how you respond in partnership. So it's important to understand your relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
Self-love all the way. But you can't be in a relationship with someone else without someone else in the relationship.
Right.
And through the years, what's happened is the teenagers are coming to me and I'm like, well, let's keep it age appropriate. And I now teach the art of relationshiping in high schools.
Oh, that's so cool.
They're amazing. They get it. And then the rest of their life is easier.
Oh, that's so great, Michelle.
But these were not skills that we were taught all the time as kids. And we didn't have the role models. So there was nowhere to learn them until now.
That's so cool.
So at the behest of my clients who are all getting married and happy and in love, this is my new book, Find Love Now. It is not out yet, but I did get a publishing deal.
Nice.
So even before it's written, this publishing company came to me and they're like, oh, we heard through the grapevine that this is what you're doing and we love how successful you are. Please let us represent you. I'm like, okay, when does this happen?
That's so great. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, what a joyful life that I get to lead, like I said at the
Yeah.
beginning, that I mean, I've got 3 weddings already this year. And, not everybody wants to get married.
Yeah.
So you just want to be in a healthy partnership. Again, where you are on the lifeline of your relationship arc.
Yeah.
Are you just getting started? Are you building a home, a career? Are you building a family? Are you empty nesting? Are you looking for a companion or
Yeah.
someone just to share life celebrities and celebrations and challenges with? So
That's cool.
greatest fun ever.
What
And
just to I love all of this. This is so great. But I want to know a little bit more about what makes Michelle tick. What's a guilty pleasure for Michelle? What's a thing that you do just for you?
well, I do love watching people go from lonely to love. I do. And it's like, if you're asking what is that thing that you don't know when time has passed and you forget to eat and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
when I'm connecting with someone and I can see, oh, here's the blind spot that you've been missing, then that's going to up level your life. And then I see the light bulb go off and go, I'm not asking them to change 180 degrees, just one click pivot.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they'll come back to me and say, you don't always know when it's wrong, but you always know when it's right.
Interesting.
And then people say, my partner and I have shared the L word. I love you is now coming easily. Or it's like, it totally lights me up. I mean, what could be more fun than that? I love to play with the dog. I love to play with my kids. I love going boating with my boyfriend to the lake house, to the beach house. Yeah, I'm in
Sorry,
love
boyfriend?
again.
What?
Boyfriend. Yeah. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah. I know the process. I was going to do it for myself, sure. So he's just the greatest. We have so much fun together.
Let's okay, let me take you here because I don't know if I've got the geography right. So if I get it wrong, you'll let me know.
Yeah.
But imagine where do we want to go? Imagine you're cruising around, you're taking a hike around Brasstown Falls.
Okay.
Is that close to you? Is that a place you know?
Nope, but that's all right. I'm happy to hike.
Or the West Columbia River Walk, maybe?
Yep.
Could be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one thing that you wish the world knew? Like just that thing that every time you're out there for a walk and you're just like having time with yourself, and you're like, oh, it'd be so much better if the world knew what this is.
So yeah, I've got a million stories going through my head. So come and walk with me. And I'm thinking about times, interestingly enough, when I've gone on walks with friends and then suddenly I need, the conversation turns to something and you're going to start to see patterns in the stories that I tell now.
Yeah.
Because I'll hear them saying something and I'm like, okay, screech halt. And I'll pick up a stick and draw a line in the sand. And I'll say, your life is this long. You're here. What do you want for the rest of your precious life?
Right.
If you just let it go and just have it happen as it happens, that's fine. Total faith. Awesome. If you'd like to have some influence over what happens in your life, then it's time to allow something to happen. So there was a monk who said, like, I've done a whole thing on the secrets of happiness and how to get there. And it's available at theartofrelationshipping.com in the resources thing. So you can go find it for yourself. But
links in the show notes.
One of, the moments of the secrets of happiness and how to get there, this monk is saying, look, if happiness is this elusive thing you're looking for and you are a balloon and the wind blows you toward happiness, that's amazing.
Right.
But if the wind blows you toward something other than happiness, is it the wind's fault? So are you outsourcing your happiness to something else?
Circumstance.
To the wind?
Yeah.
Right. So you do have some influence. If you're just going to wait for what flows down the river, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you that's not the way to go. At the same time, I have now developed a framework of it's so simple and you may miss this and let love pass you by. Don't miss it. It's just life is so much better with good love in it. And it's so worth a little bit of effort. Wouldn't you want someone to make a little bit of effort for you?
Yeah.
And so that is what I want everyone to know. And there are times to put that effort forward. And then my grandmother and I one day were walking along and she stopped and she bent over, which was kind of a big deal for her at the time, and there was a bulb plant growing.
Yeah.
And it had been done flowering. And she bent it in half and wrapped it around itself. And I'm like, Grandma, what are you doing? And she said, the plant has done all the flowering it needs for this season. Now it's time for it to get the message that it's time to pull the energy in. So when the opportunity arises to then burst through from the soil again and flower again, it will have the energy that it needs. So, there's a seasonality to things.
Sure.
And when you can ensure that you represent yourself based on who you truly are and genuinely who you are, and send that message out as opposed to who you think you should be or who you think might attract someone else, be genuine so you attract someone to the genuine version of you.
Yeah.
Then it's easy because you can't uphold something that you're not for maybe 3 years max. And then, when your truth comes through, it's like, it's as if you've been lying to yourself and your partner.
Right. And yeah, you're just exhausted at the end of that, I would imagine.
It's really hard to maintain something that you're not. So send the messages out to attract someone to who you truly are. And there is someone for everyone. And that's what's so beautiful about amazing partnerships.
That's cool.
Because someone will see you and the beauty that you are exactly as you are. It's so good. If I had to send a message, that would be it.
That would be it. What's your partner's superpower?
Oh, he's Southern gentleman, talks in a drawl. And this is superpower. Ready? I could fix it right quick. And I'm telling you, he's amazing. He grew up in a hardware store. He'd been working at the hardware store his grandparents owned since he was 5.
Wow.
And he eventually owned the stores and brought them to success and sold them. And he could fix it right quick. I swear, he should. I'm often looking for the camera crew because everyone wants his YouTube videos.
Wow.
But he doesn't have them because that's not his MO.
Yeah.
But I feel like, do you remember that show Mystery Science Theater, MST?
Yeah.
There were little like monsters or aliens and they were narrating over it.
Yeah.
This is the life I get to lead with him because I can fix it right quick. And he'll be like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do. This thing's going to break. I'm going to cuss. And then we're going to do. And I'm like, okay, let's see how it works. And it's step A, B, C.
Cuss.
Exactly what he says is going to happen. Damn. And then he goes on about it. I'm like, it was just like you said it was going to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm someday maybe we'll have the best I can fix it right quick show. But in the meantime, it's my own personal entertainment. And by the way, I learned so much about how things work and how to keep them going and how to fix them right quick.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's his superpower.
So cool. Well, okay, now what's your superpower besides connecting people? Like outside of that?
Well, I'm amazing at seeing the light, what lights someone up, and helping that spark so that they can, grow the way they want to go. Through the years, people are like, remember that time decades ago when you said this and that. No, but it sounds like me.
Yeah.
Or when you said, do you want me to listen, guide, or help?
Oh.
It changed my life. Or they're like, what are those 3 things that you offer? You listen, guide, or help? Yeah, okay, that's it. So that definitely is a superpower of mine that other people have seen and identified and have created this career for me.
Yeah.
And it's a passion. You were saying if you were hiking. Well, we've been sailing on like the biggest clipper ship in the world. We both love to sail. And, it's just organic and natural that people will then come to me. And I mean, I don't have to say I'm a relationship coach. It just organically, the conversation goes that way. And it's like, well, what have you ever thought of bum, bum, bum? And they'll be like, no, but that could change things for the easier. Yeah. Okay. Or I'm thinking in specific, there was, in this case, he was a widow and he had his daughter on the vacation with him. And he was saying, I'm having such a challenge with her because she had a relationship that was easier with her late mother than with me. So I'm like, well, we need to rebuild that entire relationship between the two of you through repeated communications that builds that respect.
Yeah.
And that's what builds trust. All relationships follow the same cycle, professional and personal. They go from chemistry to casual to commitment. And you go through those cycles, and I can walk you through if you want, but to up-level them, it's through communication, which builds that respect. And people are like, oh, I've lost trust. Well, you need to repeat communication, respect to rebuild that trust.
Wow. Talk to me about sailing for a sec.
Yeah.
Okay. I've done it once or twice, never on my own. What's your favorite thing about sailing?
Sailing is whether I or we as a team. I learned to sail in the San Francisco Bay, which could be a very challenging place.
No kidding.
And there's the Big Boat Series and the Rolls-Royce Regatta, and there's incredible sailing there.
Uh-huh.
And even if I'm giving up the understanding of the elements around you and how to influence, it's the same thing. How to influence the elements around you in, nuanced ways, so force or finesse, to achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve. I did not think I was going to be pulling sailing into the same metaphor, but it's true. So, and I've sailed, we've done bareboat sailing throughout the world, and the clipper ships, the Star Clipper, they've invited me to come and actually be a guest speaker because they're like, you're already doing it just naturally. Why don't you just come on as our guest? I'm like, okay.
Wow.
But so it's understanding how huge and powerful Mother Nature and the universe could be.
Yeah.
And then navigating the waters and the elements, so air and the weather, and knowing the power and the influence that you can change one little thing and that adjusts course so that you can get to where you want to go. Nice. I feel like I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, that's a good one. Nicely done, Michelle.
Thanks.
Oh, that's outstanding. What's the coolest thing you've ever seen sailing?
Everybody says dolphins. There was one in particular in Greece. It was just my late husband and I sailing in Greece, and there were a couple of dolphins, but one of them was swimming alongside and just eyeballed me, and I felt like I made a connection with this creature. But sailing, it's the same. I'm going to give you the same answer.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world, it's, seeing how the elements are different,
right,
and then taking them in and enjoying the experience in the moment. Okay, I think I know where to go with this. I believe that we are these incredible beings, and the way that we perceive our existence, I mean, there's, no easy way in, there's no easy way out, but we have this moment in between. I don't really know about the other stuff. I wish I had wisdom of the womb, even after having 2 kids and, being there at one point. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that I take in information through my senses: sight, taste, touch, sound, smell. There are others, proprioception, so how we move in space, sense of time, all these other things that we use to pull data in about the world around us.
Yeah.
And that data that we take in, we then push against our life experience in the past. And if we don't have any, we do what we can. And based on what our life experience is, that then becomes this feeling that we get about it, which creates an emotion. And whatever that emotion is and whatever outcome we would like to have happen will determine our behavior. For example, if the feeling I have is, oh wow, that's getting really hot on my fingers, and my previous life experience is stove is hot, I don't want to get burned, my emotion is, ow, and I'm going to pull my hand away. So very simple. But that happens in it happens very fast because our brains are brilliant and our amygdalas are looking for danger and our prefrontal cortex is, doing all these decision making, and we have all these neurotransmitters that are sending out dopamine hits of, that's fun, do it again, I want more. Yeah. Or, testosterone is like, yeah, and oxytocin, which is an estrogen, which will encourage you to reach out and build connection and relationships. And, we're such incredible creatures. And I really believe that the way we perceive the world through our senses, so whether we're on a sailing ship or walking on a beautiful hike, whatever it is, and we're connecting with someone, that's how we get to enjoy our existence. And I know that my late husband really lived. He pulled all of his energy up before he passed to tell me, I love you. And in that, I know that on the day he died, he knows he really lived. And what better gift could he have given to me than that? Yeah. And what better gift could he have had than knowing that we got to share that life experience together? It just wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got me. I don't. But that's what this incredible, precious life is.
Yeah.
So don't waste another moment without really good love in it. It's so easy. It's so easy to find the right partner for you, and people do it wrong all the time.
Let me ask a question, because I feel that you've already answered this probably in a couple different ways, but I need to frame it this way because it's one of my favorite parts of the show. Yep. And there's these people out in the world, they're the rebels in waiting. And in this case, maybe they're rebels waiting for love. I've never thought about it that way in this show over the entire, 6 seasons, 7 seasons now that we've done this. What advice do you give to these rebels to how to proceed, what to do next? I mean, obviously call you clearly, but but sure. But really, what do they do inside first?
So what is that feeling? I mean, this is such an interesting question. It's when I describe it as this: you are living this great life and you are enough. There's never a question. Yeah. Going down. And imagine that living this life is like being on a deserted island. You have enough fish, you've got enough entertainment, you have all the things that you need to have an incredible life experience on your deserted island.
I got coconuts.
You got coconuts.
Yeah.
We can do the coconut dance. We can
Yeah.
do it all. Everything's great.
Mhm.
You don't need anything else. You're perfect.
Yeah.
But there comes a time when, like I was saying, it's important to have a good relationship with yourself, because that inner voice is going to send you messages, and
Yeah.
it determines, is the glass half full, half empty? Can you go dance on the sand or whatever you're doing on your island? Coconuts or, whatever. And at some point you realize that, so that's perception, like how you perceive from yourself. But then you want this other perspective because you want to share your life experience with someone.
Right.
So you can be dancing on the sand, walking hand in hand, or, we'll both be playing the coconuts or whatever. Or look, I brought this for you because I know you like it. Or, if there's, you want to be laughing with someone and having these shared experiences. And you want the adrenaline rush of seeing life through someone else's perspective. So you get this inertia, this energy that starts to build up, that it's like, yeah, everything's great. But then when you realize, I want to share this with someone, it's so good.
Yeah.
That's when it's time.
Oh,
That's the
nice.
signal.
I love that.
So in my story of the island, that's when you get the bottle and you put a message in the bottle and you throw it out there. And the secret there is to make sure the messages that you're sending will attract the right person to you and your island.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to send the wrong messages, and then you get the wrong person coming and invading your island.
Right. Maybe you don't want pirates, or maybe you do want pirates. Who knows?
Yeah, everybody. I'm telling you, there is someone for everyone. I've seen it all. And, so finding the right fit is key. So I often will see this bundle of inertia and energy of like, I have so much love to give. And then it's who's the right person to partner with. So, and I get a lot of givers who come to me because you get something from giving, even though it feels altruistic.
Yeah.
You do get something out of giving. And it's important to partner a giver with either a giver or a receiver rather than a taker. And a taker, there's acceptable times for that. Taker could be unconditional love, like with a pet or with a child or with an anonymous donation, because intrinsically you have enough of the reward that you don't need recognition for it.
Right.
So givers, takers, and receivers, I'm always looking for, who are you and how do we match you with the right kind of people? So it's really, you get this bundle of energy and you are enough and it's amazing and you don't need a partnership, but at some point you want to share that life experience with someone. That's when, and I think I did the hands, I do have a lot of hand signals. You have identity and individuality, but then together it is something more in this universe of this relationship that you create on this island that you share. And when you're enjoying this, it's all about the shared experiences. Trying something new will boost from chemistry to casual to committed again, or bonding together to help someone else is another way to catapult forward into the chemistry phase of a relationship again. And yeah, it's so good. It's so good. You do need to know how to trust yourself in intimate relationships and how to navigate obstacles. So at no point do you feel like you would lose trust or that someone would take advantage of you or that you could be misled in any way. Because especially when you're diving into the dating pool, you want to be relationship ready so you can identify someone else as a relationship ready. You attract who you are, not who you want to be. And you need to be able to see people who might drag you down with them so you can avoid them, and then partner appropriately so that you can really enjoy life together, and it exponentially increases your life experience.
Oh my
God. Good.
Oh, well, Michelle Hoffmann, this has been Amazing. And the when we were initially talking about doing this, I was like, this is gonna be fun. Like, I'm gonna learn some stuff, and I think you've got a really cool story. I had no clue that this was just how deep and strong this is, for you and for the rest of the world. It's been lovely. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me a voice to share beyond my world.
Buy her books, people.
My books. And any of you listening, you're welcome to go to theartofrelationshipping.com. At theartofrelationshipping.com, you can click on Speak with Michelle and put time on my calendar, and let's see how we can go from chemistry to casual to committed in your life to increase the relationships that you get to enjoy in your world.
I love this. Michelle, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Michael. It's my pleasure. It's an honor.
When you're ready to find, shape, and share your story with the world, visit makemorecreative.com and book your discovery call. Use the code RebelRebel and get 50% off your first session. Whether you're just starting out, about to pivot, or just need to fill your funnel, Make More Creative is your new superpower. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the Rebel Rebel Podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, why don't you head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out our guest request form. Share or subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And thanks so much for listening. Until next time.